Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning we go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video, and one person's question will help me make the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video, and if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and put repeat question, it'll get moved to the top. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision. And I have been in the hobby for 27 years now, so I've been here for a while. And we do have to give a quick thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is ARIZONATCG. If you guys have some graded cards you're looking to sell, but you guys do not want to deal with a bunch of people lowballing you or having to ship cards out every other day, you can just send all your cards to ARIZONATCG. It could be PSA, BGS, Tag, Pokemon, One Piece, it does not matter. They're going to take professional scans and they're going to post it to their massive weekly eBay auctions where people trust them with some of the most expensive cards in the world. And they actually lowered their prices to match the promotion that they did during the holidays. So these guys are one of the cheapest consignment services out there. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description. Then, of course, you guys want to try out PSA, click the link, use the code BEARD25, get $25 off your first submission. And same thing with Tag, use the code BEARD10, you'll get 10% off your first submission. And I will be vending in Chicago this weekend, May 1st through the 3rd at Trading Card Con. Going to be a crazy show. You can use the code PokeBeard to save $5 off on some tickets. All right, first question is from Spinach Now. Hi, thank you for the amazing channel. Makes my daily commute so much more bearable. Do you think we'll see a summer lull this year? I remember last year it started around early May, but with how hot the market is, I'm wondering if it's a given we'll see prices regress a bit. I think the poor back-to-back sets, Perfect Order and Chaos Rising could help, but then there's Ascended Heroes remaining lava hot. Now, I remember specifically talking about how we're going to have a summer lull last year, right around this exact same time. And, I said, hang on a little bit. We might get some nice dips during the summer. And so many people disagreed with me and argued me like it was actually kind of crazy because the market was so hot. You got to think this boom has been going on now for almost 2 years. So last year at this time, the market was basically just as hot as it is now. But I can prove to you that we actually did have a summer lull last year. So we have the Greninja EX from Twilight Masquerade. So it got up to $410 in March of 2025, and then it looks like the low was $267 at the very end of July, and then it went right back up to $350 in October. Next, we have the Charizard from 151. Right here, $250 March of 2025. Right here, June 14th of 2025, $184. Oh, we even got one lower. July 3rd, $178. Then it went right back up to $308 in September. And here is the Pikachu EX. So this was at $461 in March of 2025. The low, $255 in August of 2025, and then went right back up to $350. This happens every single summer. These were basically the 3 most popular cards in modern Pokemon right now. So I promise you this can happen even if the market is super, super hot. So I do expect some sort of lull this summer, and that'll be a great time to pick up some of these more expensive cards. But yeah, especially having, Chaos Rising and Perfect Order, not the best sets, that will definitely help it a little bit. I'm sure we'll be able to find some products, this summer when people don't care as much and they don't have as much money to spend. But we do have the 30th anniversary coming and the Rayquaza set also coming too. So I don't expect it to really cool off. People are going to be waiting for those for sure. Next is from Good Juju Pokey. I was considering getting into Generations as well. I was wondering whether you would spend the money on the red and blue Pikachu box or you would get the ETB since they are around the same price. As always, thank you for the awesome content and advice. Keep killing it, Bearded Brother. So I think the red and blue boxes look so much cooler, especially for display. Check out this Pikachu box. But here's the thing, you're not getting nearly as many packs. You are getting a really nice figure and a really, really good promo. But Generations also has a really, really good Shaman promo that is worth a decent amount of money, not as much as the Pikachu, and you're getting a lot more packs. But if you have a really cool collection or you want to have a really, really cool display, I do think the Pikachu box is one of the best boxes we've ever gotten. That's one of the best Pikachu cards we've ever gotten. The figure's sick. So if you're looking for display reasons, I do think the Pikachu box is cooler, but Generations might do slightly better long term. But all right, next question is from Legends of Saker 9170. Almighty Beard, is it just me or are the new hyper rare gold cards of the Mega Evolution era being slept on? With the increased printing of recent sets, it will be interesting to see the pop counts in a few years. The Mega Dragonite at 290 and Mega Charizard X at 340 should be immediate pickups in my opinion. What's everyone else's take? So the Mega Dragonite recently just went up in price. I also thought it was a little undervalued at 280, 290. Market price is now 333. I honestly think the Mega Charizard Y, market price 617, I could see that being a $1,000 card. You got to think Ascended Heroes is massive. It's much tougher to pull than the actual Mega Charizard X. And with how expensive some of the SIRs are getting from Ascended Heroes, I could see it going up in price. But I mean, these cards are pretty expensive and they are very, very tough to pull. But here's the thing, not a lot of people love gold cards. So I do think they are pretty well priced with, half of the hobby not even really interested in gold cards. But I do feel like a lot of newer people are starting to, really enjoy these new cards, and they do pop in person. And they do kind of look like some of the manga arts or whatever from like One Piece and stuff. But I mean, I've always been a gold fan. I have all the gold cards from Sword and Shield and stuff. And I have a lot of the Sun and Moon and X and Y gold cards. So I'm a big fan of these. But yeah, I could definitely see, especially the 2 Charizards going up in price for sure. Maybe not so much the other ones, especially the Mega Zygarde. And then Mega Dragonite is pretty sick. I actually seen it the other day in person. They really, really do pop. And that can actually be our question of the day, which I forgot to do in the beginning. What is your favorite new gold card of all of these new Mega Hyper Rares? If I had to choose one, I have seen all these in person. I don't know. The Mega Charizard X does look sick. But the Mega Charizard Y never gets really any love. So that card is really growing on me too. And then Mega Dragonite is definitely in the top 3. My wife is obsessed with Mega Gardevoir and she wants the gold one. So now I got to find that. Next is from Dawson Self. What are your thoughts on Perfect Order? Is it a good set to start a sealed collection for? Additionally, what other sealed would you buy at market right now for the long-term investment? So Perfect Order, definitely one of the weaker sets. Now, when you're looking at this, like investment-wise, really depends on like how reprints go. If we get a ton of reprints of this set, it's always going to be pretty cheap. If we get no reprints, this set will definitely go up in price, but it's very similar to Shrouded Fable. So you can go check Shrouded Fable's prices and kind of compare and see what this box will do. But I mean, if you can find it for MSRP, honestly, it's not a bad pickup at all. Perfect Order is a pretty solid set. It's just, the weakest set we've gotten so far in the Mega era. It's just so tough to have a good set when it's that small, and then your mascot is a Zygarde, which is not a very, very popular Pokemon. But like I said, if you can find the stuff for MSRP, it is totally worth just buying, sitting on it, because, it can go up in price a little bit, and then you could even use it to trade for other products you might like better. And for the other part of the question, check out my video this Sunday, and I'm going to go through a bunch of sealed products that I am personally picking up. Next is from a member at John Heitkamp. Beard, do you think the Pokeball and Master Ball reverses in Prismatic will ever be valued like the reverses from Legendary Collection? I personally think they are underrated, but I'm also from the generation that thought that holos were the best. I'm right with you, man. I still think holos look great. But I could definitely see some of these Master Balls popping off in the future. I do think we got to give it a little bit more time. Hopefully they'll drop down in price a little bit more, especially if you pick the more popular Pokemon like the Evolutions and stuff. I could definitely see these bouncing back. I don't know why TCG Player would have this set to heavily played. It just makes 0 sense to me. But if we check the 1 year, here's the Sylveon, was $53. Looks like the all-time low was $25 for the Sylveon Master Ball, and right now it's at $29. And remember, I always say buy the dips. This would probably be a decent time to pick up some of these Master Balls, because it is actually really tough to get like a specific Master Ball. It's not like these cards are super, super common. I don't think they'll ever like go as crazy as like the Legendary Collection, because those cards are like super, super beautiful, but I could definitely see a future where these guys pop off. Next is from Tuki. Hey Beard, with the Ascended Heroes collection boxes featuring the starters, the deluxe pin box, and the upcoming EX boxes, do you think they will hold a larger return on value compared to just a booster bundle? Has there been anything similar in the past that featured the starters, and are they doing better compared to the booster bundle? I feel these starter feature boxes will do better if holding long term. Talk me out of it. So the booster bundle has more packs, and Ascended Heroes is a crazy set, so I can't see those boxes beating the booster bundle. And if they were Gen 1 starters, I would probably totally agree with you, but they're Generation 2, so they're not nearly as popular. But with Ascended Heroes, like I said, these packs are going to be very, very expensive. And then people also like booster bundles a little bit more because they're so much smaller. They take up, not a lot of space, and you get a decent amount of packs. Like I always say this, I do think booster bundles will be the most open product in the future. Like when you're going back and you want to open up an older set, you're going to be opening up that booster bundle. Because you're not paying for extra promos, you're not paying for all this stuff, you're literally just paying for the packs. But if they did have the same amount of packs, then of course you can go with the promos, because the promos are going to add value too. It really depends on the promos also. Next is from Dale Wilm. Dear Beard of Knowledge, I've been in the hobby for 9 months now. Next week I'm receiving a sequential set of Zekrom 31 Black Star promo, Pokemon Center and regular. Both got a PSA 10. Congrats. Gem rates are terrible for these cards, but the prices they are going for are hard to pass up. In your opinion, do you think it's better to hold and see what the prices end up doing with how hot everything is, or dump them now and take the $5,000 they are worth? So if that $5,000 can actually really, really help you, maybe with some personal stuff, and can really help grow your collection, then you could totally do that. I mean, there is a chance it can go up, but right now, with everything being just so hot, everything's so expensive, especially with low pop stuff, even if it is brand new, I mean, you're getting a good amount of money for 2 promos that you just got that are now worth $5,000. Like, that's a lot of money. So I would be totally okay selling those right now, and you probably have a good chance of picking them up a lot cheaper sometime in the future when we have a nice little lull. Next is from @PokeEasyHack. What's the point of collecting multiple copies of the same card? Always hear you say something about 100 of these cards, or I want a binder page of all this card. I feel like when I have that card, it's in my collection and I'm happy. Thanks, Beard. So I feel like there's 2 different reasons why people like to do this. One is they're just super obsessed with the card and it's their favorite card and they just want to get as many as they can. Because I'm telling you, having a full binder page does hit different. And then that way you never have to worry about maybe trying to sell your card or trade that one card if you ever need money in the future or something like that. You know, you don't have to give away your favorite card. You have 8 other ones that you could sell or trade. And the other reason, which is the main reason why I do it a ton also, is I like to buy 100 cards of a certain card that I think is just super undervalued or dirt cheap, especially if they're dirt cheap. That's why I love, you know, the Black Star promos from the ETBs that are $1 or $2. You know, you could buy 30 copies and it's $30. It's just so low risk, and the odds of that card going up in price, even if it is, let's just say a couple dollars, you know, that starts to add up. And then I like to sell them, and then that way I can buy something else that I need for my collection. Because my entire collection has been built on just me, you know, hustling, you know, buying cards, getting some cards graded, selling them, making a little bit of profit here, using that to buy another card, because I never had a lot of money. And a lot of these other content creators that say, you know, open up packs and rip open stuff, like I didn't have money to just sit and rip open packs and grow my collection that way. I was dead serious about my collection. I wanted my collection to be the best collection possible. And in order to do that, you cannot sit and open up packs. You gotta, you know, make smart plays. You gotta buy a lot of cards. You gotta sell cards, trade, grade, all that. You know, that's why I bought, you know, 100 of the Mew EXs from the 151 UPC when they were $3 a card. Or the Mewtwo, which was literally like $1.50 a card from that UPC. The amount of money that I could make from selling those, which I haven't really sold any yet, you know, is crazy. I could buy a Grail card just from doing that, and I really spent, you know, a couple $100 total for all those cards. And I've honestly been doing that forever. And I remember before I started my channel, I watched all the PokeTubers and no one ever talked about that. I rarely ever seen anyone have like full binder pages of all these cards, and now I see it all the time. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, especially if it's a card you really, really believe in and it is dirt cheap. The risk is just so low. Next is from the Card Vault. New question. Bought my first ever booster boxes online, and the top portion where there's a perforated picture is separated. The seal is fine, but it's separated and push in. Big deal or normal for long-term hold? Debating selling and buying a cleaner now. That's super, super common. I think you can even like turn the box upside down. I've seen a video before, I can't really remember, and just kind of shake it a little bit and it kind of pushes it all back. But that's super, super common. Next is from @Binsties. What Vegas show? Front row. I'd be pretty excited to see you come say what's up. So I will be vending at a Vegas show. It's actually done by the toy expert from Pawn Stars. I think Chum Lee is also an ambassador. I'm actually going to be hanging out with Chum Lee for a little bit, making a video with them. And this will be at the very end of next month, May 30th and 31st. It is called PokeCon. So definitely check that out if you guys are in the area. I'm bringing all my life-size statues. So it is going to be a crazy, crazy show. Next is from @JakesQ. Hey, Mr. Beard, watching your content pushed me to attend my first card show here locally. It was a great experience and very hard to not spend my entire budget during this one show because now I'm hooked and want to attend as many shows in my area as possible. What is some advice you would give for people newer to the hobby that want to attend as many shows as possible but also stay within budget? Thank you. So what you can do is just kind of leave money at home, you know, bring a little bit of cash because all the vendors want cash anyways, and then you could do it like that, just have a set budget. But in my opinion, if you're really obsessed with these shows, start vending. You know, buy a couple collections on eBay or buy a collection, you know, on Facebook Marketplace, get a little case on Amazon, get a couple binders and start vending. And then that way, you know, you're not spending a ton of money. You could be possibly making a bunch of money or at least growing your collection a ton. That is honestly the best way to do it right now. And especially there's so many different shows all over. It's not hard to get a table. And some people are even dropping the prices on their tables because there's so many shows and they got to compete. So getting a table right now is not super, super tough unless it's like a crazy Collecticon type thing. But that's what I would do. Next is from @Gary Mr. Cool. I have a Hidden Fates ETB I got for $150 a while back. Should I trade it for an Ascended Heroes PC ETB? I already have one, but thinking of getting two. I do like that. I really feel like the Hidden Fates ETB is the most printed ETB in Pokemon history. It's kind of crazy. You can even look at how many promos there are on the market. It's wild. That thing got reprinted so many times, and it got reprinted super, super late. I know it's a lot older, but at least with the Ascended Heroes, you're getting that Pokemon Center ETB. So I think I'd be totally fine with that. I have a feeling like 5 or 10 years from now, the Ascended Heroes PC ETB is going to be worth way more than Hidden Fates. Next is from @Nathan Butcher. Most excellent beard, sir. Are you a fan of the World Record Collection slabs? Should we be? Is there any precedent to this concept in the hobby? I'm not a fan of that at all. I think that's honestly kind of stupid, and I would not buy any of those cards. Next is from @MandomTZ. Would you trade 2 sets of Evolving Skies ETBs for a sealed case of Ascended Heroes ETBs? Thank you. Appreciate the content. This one is tough, because I normally have a rule where you don't ever sell anything Evolving Skies, but Ascended Heroes is a crazy set, and it's right up there with Evolving Skies, and you're getting a lot more ETBs than just 4, because you're getting a sealed case, which is 10. I wish I knew if you had any other Evolving Skies ETBs. Let's say you got another set or 2, then I would totally be okay with trading that for sure. But if you didn't have any, that's when I'd be a little bit iffy. But like I said, you're just getting so many Ascended Heroes ETBs. And yes, they can get reprinted and come back down in price, but we've already seen it a bunch now with Prismatic Evolutions. Every single time we get an ETB reprint, it does drop in price, but it'll eventually go back up. I mean, it's still $165 ETB for Prismatic, and we've gotten a ton of reprints of those ETBs. And honestly, some of the Ascended Heroes cards in the PSA 10s are selling more than the Moonbryon, which is kind of insane. But yeah, if you have a couple more, I would definitely do it, because you're getting way more ETBs. Plus, you're getting that premium of that sealed case, which can definitely help. And last question is from the Ben Egg 6. Dear Beard Superior, I'm considering getting some cards graded, but I'm more hesitant with how long the turnaround time will be on them. I'm intending on selling these cards to reinvest in sealed products or other slabs. I have friends who sent some cards into PSA in early January and still haven't gotten them back as of April 22nd. Do you still think the wait for PSA is worth it, or is sending my cards to a different grader a better option? Also, as a seller, have you seen an increase in tag being able to be moved? Thanks. So I actually have seen a lot more people selling tag, especially online. A lot more sales. In person, not so much. So if you are going to try tag and you want to try to sell these in person at card shows and card shops, definitely going to be kind of tough. And yeah, the wait times for PSA does suck. Even though during COVID, we had like a year-long wait time. So, 4 months is nothing compared to that, even though that is a long, long time. Especially, I know a lot of people worry that like the market might cool off before they get the cards back. But at least if you did send your cards to PSA right now, we do have the Rayquaza set and the 30th anniversary coming still. So I wouldn't worry too much. But it really depends on like 3 things: how you're going to sell your cards, how clean your cards actually are, and then 2, what you really like the most. So if you just hate PSA, definitely try tag, BGS, CGC. And if your cards are super, super flawless, like I'm talking, you cannot find one speck, they're perfectly centered, then you might want to try BGS and get that black label, because that's where the real money's at. And as you guys know, I have an affiliate through PSA and tag. I've been using PSA my entire life, and I got a big submission that I'm going to send through tag soon. I'm working on a CGC affiliate, their first one ever, and I'm trying to get BGS, but they're a little harder to get a hold of because they're not as active on social media. I'm going to try to get them all so that way I can give you guys discounts for all of them. And I do like them all in their own certain ways. Like I have like 1,000 CGC graded comic books because they're the goats of grading comic books, kind of like PSA is with cards. And then they stepped, into the market for cards. But, they graded a ton of fake cards last year, so that does hurt them. PSA is getting a lot of hate right now, but next year could be CGC, whatever. None of these graded card companies are perfect, so it really just depends on, what you like and how you're trying to sell and how clean the card really, really is. But PSA is still the easiest to sell, hands down. I mean, 95% of people still collect PSA cards that are collecting graded cards. So that's definitely going to be your easiest one to sell. But all right, that was this week's Pokemon What If Wednesday. If you guys like this content and want to stay ahead of the market, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, check out my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube membership, all that. You guys know what to do. You guys are the best. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day, and you guys have to watch my newest Market Monday. I had over 100 pages. This was a crazy Market Monday with crazy market manipulation. You got to watch it. Click this video right here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.